Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kyusho here, and now, before I do begin, let me give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happen. Now, Deku, he took 2 days off. One of these days was to try and recover, and because he was still trying to figure out exactly how to handle things with the imposter who pretended to be him. Now, he decided to go see Shomo the day before he had a meeting with dragons. And he discovered that Shomo, he was pushing himself far too much when it came to trying to cultivate his mana pool. Now, he told the kid quite simply to take time off and to quit doing what he was doing. And it's a good thing he found out when he did. The fact the kid's gotten stronger with magic and is even trying to get his foot into the door to combination magic is very good. It shows he's got a talent for how to potentially use these powers. But he might make mistakes that get him killed. Now, Deku, he made him take a day off, made him stop trying to cultivate his magic and try to rest. The next day, he went to go see the dragons, and he found far more than he intended. A great worm known as the Stubborn. He was there at the meeting, the biggest dragon Deku has ever seen, probably bigger than a mountain. And with him was about 30 other dragons who all believed they could take on Izuku. Now, Deku was not intimidated. In fact, he felt like a hungry man who just walked into a buffet. And one of those dragons was Davrum, aka Valin. Now, Deku made things quite clear. He was not impressed and he was not happy to see her. However, whenever the conversation began and he even questioned Davrum's reason for promising these people the divine power she wields, she was not happy. Dragons attacked Deku, and he killed them instantaneously. And to many of their horrors, he did it casually. Davrum was going to lead them straight to their own deaths if they followed her. And Izuku even pointed this out and gave some the chance to leave. Some did, especially after Deku imposed a challenge that would show the true strength he wields against hers. And she, by the time the challenge was done, was on her knees and lost the challenge. She failed her test, and she lost much reputation to these people here. Now, Deku, he talked with the remaining dragons and made deals with them. He got more information, and right now he headed back home and even introduced them to his new servant. And this meant quite a bit. Deku, he wanted to gather everybody there to make sure they can go over this once. Gather the vampires, gather the others, and make sure they can get this all cleared up. Now, with that being said, Deku, he made the call. And right now, there is where everyone, they have began to gather. Right now, him going to someone sit there in the room. And he does go over it. Someone going to pour him a cup of tea as they all do someone sit at a desk in the library. And he does express, as he said before, it's a lot to go over. Surely it is. But this is Davrum. Her going to hold up her glass as Davrum does going to pour her a cup of tea. And she does going to nod her head to Ochako. Bakugo going to hold out his glass as she does pour him one as well. And he does going to express. Right now, Erodos sitting on his lap talking about it. That is correct. But she's going by Volin. It's the name she had before she tried to attain her divinity. I see. Yeah. Is there anything else we should know? Other than what I've gathered from the dragons, not necessarily. They've given me books that I've added to my library and I've had time to process and get the sage to look over. But other than that, not much is known. That's why she's here. She challenged me and lost. But I did kind of trick her with that. I knew I would win. Her going to set the pot down and go to bring her hands up, clapping them together, a little loud and expressing. Is there anything else he does need? No. You're dismissed. If you'd like to leave the premise, you can. If you'd like to go on a hunt and gain some food, the ocean is nearby. You can roast it on the fire above, on the mountain. I see. Is that all? It is all. If I do need you, I will summon for you. Call for you. How? I will find you. I will reach out with my own mind. Now, if you would please, tell us, before you do go, any information that could pertain to the Demon Lord. Is it true? Ochako stepping in. Did he really take over Kirishima's body? I fear that is true. Bako stepping in. He's talked with someone, and he's been trying to gather his own information. It's been a little iffy, but they can at least confirm that. Right, Volin? That is correct. The Demon Lord has gone by many names in his time. But he's also something you've never faced before. Is he now? Yes. I do not doubt your powers, but he believes he's obtained a new level with this one. His forbidden art. It is a false divine. The body he inhabited before was that of a planeswalker. A planeswalker? That it's real, isn't it? Yes. For the last 5,000 years, he's mentioned the power he gained, but he does not have the spark. He was angry, and he seeks new avenues of power. With what he could, he crafted an artifact of the remains of many he had. It allowed him to find it. It's the body, isn't it? Of the deity, yes. It is hard to explain. He does not tell us the name of his technique, but it gives him much power. It is another forbidden art. He was going to bestow one on me, but he did not believe I deserved it. I had my own path to power, and I believe he feared what would happen if I had power such as that. Really? Yes. And what can you tell me about Druso? Druso Uzin, the human. He's done much to try and earn that man's respect. They've met 2 decades ago. More than that, I believe. Deku turning to Lily, and she does lower her head as Volin does turn to see that. Deku raising his hand to the table and putting it on hers. Before the Izorchako does clear her throat, Valen looking back before going to clear her own and expressing. It's hard to say. She gave the man an offer he could not refuse. And he took it. That day on the battlefield changed everything for him. That is what she does know. The choice made that day, it cost many their lives. But from her understanding, it did something else. That man, he gained a forbidden art as well. Once this happened, he was taken in, and he was shown much. They afflicted him with a powerful curse, a test, a trial of his own to make sure he could be trusted. They all go through the trials. Is that so? Yes. This doesn't have anything to do with what you're going on about. We wanted to know more about the Demon Lord. Where do you rank in his army? I am one of his generals. Yes, but what does that mean? There are 5 of us. 5? Yes. Some of us were at Granella. And, well, Druso is the 2nd. The 3rd, I believe you've met before. He was there. The 4th, he's an army of his own. His ability is to absorb the soul. I've had a run with that one too. The 3rd and 4th. Is that so? Yes. And the 5th? That would be me. Without me, however, he may appoint one of the lowers to my position. I was supposed to return after my plan, and now that is gone. And what can you tell us about it? Not much. The realm you wish to go to. The Abyss. It contains the flesh of a god. His body, not his skeleton? No. How do you know that? Druso took me there. He made me witness it myself. Floating there in the void of the dark. The imperceptible. Just its face writhing in an agony. A silent scream. Eyes that just stare at you. Yes. Well, that is another case. He has a home there. Inside its skull. That's where his castle is. Yes. Deku turning to Baku no Chako. And right now, they do both go to look all between each other. And Valen does continue. His castle was moved from one of the 9 hells. He believed it to be a safer place to operate from within. But he does still have to try and quell his own unrest there. Is that true? Yes. Many of the lords of hell, they seek his own power. He returns from time to time to deal with uprisings. He is akin to a god to them. I see. Anything else we should know? He used to be a powerful deity himself. Or so he claims. Really? All of them going to sit on the edge of their seats. And right now she does continue. Yes, she is not sure how true it is, but he is claimed to be a god, a true one who has lost what was once given, one who ascended from the first empire. That is it. As there is life, there is magic. As there is magic, there is war. There is the mystical. Art she cannot understand. Things they are not supposed to know. But that is it. There are many things they do know. Things that he would rather them not. Things he would rather them hide. And that is a problem. The Demon Lord, he goes by a new name. However, he claims to be one god, Badana, the god of curses. And they do look around at each other. And this is incredible. How? That's impossible. I do not know how true it is. But there is also another possibility. Dinira, the god of demons. That I'm confused. He claims to be one god, but he may be another. Evidence claims him to be one of these two. But from the past, I have learned he is the one who killed Galar, the god of the ocean. It can only have been done with a curse. But his power, he is trying to reattain it. That makes sense. Why he went through the trouble of trying to take us out. But it doesn't. It kind of does, actually. Why would a god, even one fallen, believe itself to be opposed by mortals? And you said before, his curse technique, it was some form of divinity? A corrupted form of it, I believe. My own investigations have proven to be somewhat inadequate. Deku bring a hand up. And right now, he does go to express. If she would allow him, he can search her thoughts and find her perfect analogies. Translations. Things you're using to try and explain it to us. You seem to be having trouble with that. I am not used to conversations after thousands of years. Speaking with this many people, I find it to be rather pleasant. He doesn't let you speak freely, does he? No, he does not. He would rather let us fall in line, treat us like automatons from the land of gears. But we are not. We follow because of what he promises us. The carrot on a string for a horse, but he keeps pulling it away. Though I feared that my time would have come to an end sooner than I would like. You don't play for his tricks. I have my own way of power that I've discovered. Her shifting a bit uncomfortably. Before expressing, she's found her own path. She took it. It's only a matter of time till she found out what he did. She knows what he did. But that's the problem. How he did it. I see. Well, as I said before, if you allow me to, I will copy your mind into my own, imprint it. Perhaps another time, if I may deny that request. You can. You're dismissed. Deku going to wave the hand again, and she is to bow her head and visibly relax, her turning to go to leave, for stopping and turning back, expressing about how she will go on a hunt now. She will return soon. Is there anything she may do in the meanwhile? Prepare meals for them, perhaps? That is all right. If you need to take time to rest, I will call for you if I need you. Rest. Where? Perhaps down in the lair below. I will speak to Atrig while you are out about that. Find a place for you here. Now, please, you are dismissed. Her turning back and going to leave. And when she has to walk out of the library, Deku does a turn back to the rest of the table. And right now, everyone, they do to someone sit there waiting for someone to break the tension. Before Ochako does go to someone clear her throat. So, Erodas, how many does this make for him now? I believe the number is 4. Right. And I believe the word for him is horror. Do not be mad because you are simply jealous. He is quite a strong warrior. And he has upheld our traditions quite well. I didn't know that would happen during the hunt. In all fairness, Miss Ochako, Izuku found himself in this situation. You're a princess. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. I don't see his appeal. You are a warrior. And you are also another hero. I do not expect you to. Your renowns are strange with each other. Still, that's another thing. We've got to talk a bit more about this Druso guy. How to handle him. But more importantly, Izuku, did you get a thing from the event? What do you mean? The events. I mean, I got this thing called a Vorpal Blade. And it is weird. Yeah. I'm not sure if I should pick stuff from my event either. I mean, I'm concerned about it as well. I was hoping to go over it and see what you guys were going to do. Perhaps we might find an artifact that could help. You mentioned before you had an Aurora's horn? Yeah. Him pulling it from his waistband, holding it up, and talking about it. It's the Horn of Judgment. Though it's changed. It lost its divine right. But it still does draw from power. As long as it's equipped to him, it can take on the excess amount of power he does have. As long as he does carry it. And he's been doing so since he got out of the dungeon. So, that's pretty good. So what, it's got a full day's worth of your mana? No. I've been pouring my divine magic into it. But another thing is, I'm not too sure about it. It just says it can hold them into charges, or, well, it has tears now. I'm not sure. Is that the case? Yeah. But I did get a ring from the event. I haven't picked from the Tarask event, but I've been looking at the stuff. Really? Yeah. It's a multiple choice. Did you guys know that? It was like that for us too. That's why we're concerned about it. The magic items are decent, but the artifacts are far more alluring. I understand that. Trust me, I do. I've got this ring, but I'm looking at another thing right now. Deku staring at the screen. It showing off to him about what he is going to see. A ring of time slipping. Another item. The Tarask bracers. And the third item. A twilight staff. And these three items, Deku finds each one of them alluring for different reasons. The Tarask bracers can increase his defense, increase his strength by tenfold. But it does come with a caveat. They will enrage him, send him into a fury unlike any before seen. And they're cursed. He can feel the magic coming off of them when he hovers over that item. They're cursed to... he doesn't even want to think about it. The Tarask skin, constantly healing and regenerating, these bracers, he doesn't sense death from them. He senses life. And that sounds bad enough. Him looking over at the ring of time slipping. A magic item that will allow him to reverse time for up to 60 seconds in the immediate area. And its range is 50 feet. And this is highly interesting. It can be used 3 times a day. And then the Twilight Staff. It has the ability to enhance magical attacks. And it's made from a branch of the World Tree. Something Deku hasn't seen before. But he's looked at. He's felt it before in places. No. He's seen it on a battlefield. That's where he remembers that damn thing from. From those tainted memories. He's seen that tree before. And the branch, it does somewhat resonate with a bit of power. It is beautiful. The design is elegant and natural. A staff that could do so much. But that's the problem. The only item he can see himself really using is the ring. The bracers are too much of a risk because of the curse. But that staff, it feels cursed to him. Something about it is off. The ring is the only item he's not too sure about. But he's thinking might be worth it. It's a safer option. He might be messing with the flow of time. But it's safer. And right now he does go to select the item. Him going to have the ring fall into his hand and hold it up. Before he does this, he'll bring his hand up and go to pat Aerodos on the side of her hip, telling her, right now he needs to stand. And she does get a turn and go to plant a kiss on his face, before sliding off and going to stand up. Deku climbing to his feet as the other two, they do to stand as well. Right now, Bakugo looking at Deku and turning his head. Are you using polymorph? What? No. Why? You're a little taller. Deku looking at them, for realizing he's not on eye level. He's looking a little down. And he does get a turn, going to watch as Lillian does get to stand up. And this time, he does notice the height difference between the two. He grew. Him going to look down and go to look towards everything, wondering if this might be a mistake. Him transforming into a cat and then going to sit there in the chair for a second, turning back into his regular form and going to reappear. This time, him going to look around and stand again. Before he does go to open his inventory and be informed, he has completed a challenge. Slay 5 different dragons within 30 seconds. He has attained another cosmetic item, along with a slight increase to his physical state. Him going to think about that for a second, chuckling a little for realizing he's going to grow another pair of horns, standing up and talking about it. Apparently, it was part of a challenge. That's about it. Had him concerned for a minute there. Right. But seriously though, Izuku, what was the other item? It was something called the Ring of Spell Turning. Deku holding up the small ring of time slipping. And right now they just won't stare at it. It's made of a shiny metal. An interesting one. And not only that, but they can feel magic pouring off of that. And Deku, he does bring a hand up, slipping it onto his finger as the ring. It does go to grow a little bit more to fit the hand. And Izuku, he does notice that, bring it up and staring at the item. And it has small gears on it. Not only that, but the side facing him has a tiny clock face. Him shifting it over in his hand, holding up the other ring, and it does have a small rectangular mirror on the front. And they just don't see that. It almost looks like a wedding band, but it's different. And Izuku, he does just want to stare at this ring again, going to put it onto his other finger and go to talk about it. These are the only 2 rings he does have that he wants to use. He has some in his inventory, but he hasn't found a proper use for them. You have a bunch of magic items, don't you? You got them from the fucking dragons. I do. I've got some from Dragon Lairs too. Yeah, I can't really be one to claim I'm hoarding a bunch of magic stuff. Wait, all of you have fought dragons? Your boy toy is the only one who's made it a real hobby. I'm not trying to get too much involved in that world. But if I do need to, I will. Really? I'm unfamiliar with this term. It's not a nice one. Ah, I see. For your information, Izuku is a kind man. Yes, and he also can be quite, let's just say, loving. Deku clearing his throat, bringing his hand up and pulling the ring off before he does someone stare at it and have a thought. Going to bring it up to one of his horns and seeing if it will fit. Whenever it does go to slip onto the one on the right and go to somewhat hang unevenly, they just don't stare at him. Deku going to feel the ring begin to grow and expand before it does a slide down further and go to rest against his forehead. And he does pull the thing off and stare at the item again, thinking about it. It does appear to be working, but it's also incredible. He hasn't seen a magic item do this before. It's different from the rest. Is system generated? Or does it already exist? That does bring up the question, where do these rewards come from? Them looking at each other for a minute. And it is a puzzling one. Deku talking about it. That's a good question. Perhaps the divine give them these? Or perhaps it's just something that happens? He's not really too sure. Listen, right now he's dealing with this. And then this ring. He does still need to attune himself to them. But what about them? Any updates on things going on? They know exactly where the Demon Lord is. And he still needs to go through some of his own books. Me as well. I know I need to go through my information. I've been looking into a few things myself. From what I've found, the techniques in those books, they're incredible. Though I'm not sure if it would work. It'll take me some time to go over them and see about turning them into something with magic. That could take me months. Maybe weeks if I properly go through with it. Perhaps that is true, but you are looking into other things as well, Bakugo? Yeah. Certain information that could help us. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm trying to look more into enhancement magic. This mystical balance between Onis and orcs that seems to have been lost. Strength and speed. You are searching into our past. Yeah, I am. That is interesting. Not much is known from that lost period of time. This book was from that lost period. It mentions a war. A great one. I know that orcs and onis are different, but this is something else. Orcs were made to be a battle species. And the onis, I'm not sure much about your own creation, miss. Well, that is true. From my understanding, our people evolved naturally. The orcs did not. We were more in tune with the dryads and druids of our homeland. They took us in after wars and helped us survive. We repaid by making our traditions around things they taught us. That does make some sense. But it doesn't explain everything. Something happened in the past that caused this. And I'm trying to figure this all out. Perhaps with some insight from both sides I could. But that would require me to learn with Druso and then talk to another Oni. Though I'm not sure I can even get an Oni and an Orc in the same room without trying to kill each other. God. This could be problematic. I might be able to help with the Oni part. Yes. The leader of our clan, my former clan, resides in Granala. 3 elders are there. They may be able to give you some insight with this. They do follow our traditions. Right. That might be able to help. And then with Drutha, and, well, I might be able to get some insight from another one I know. Not sure how much help they'll be, though, but it's a start. I met another warlord whenever I was traveling in the lands of wild magic. The people there aren't exactly too sure about a lot of things. But that's just it. They know a lot, different information. And right now what we're looking for is different. I can pay them a visit and see how they're doing, but hopefully I don't run into a fucking sailor. Still being chased by the rogue? Oh, shut up. Listen, I can deal with tieflings. It's not that hard. Though, in the meantime, I should get back to my combat studies. You're right about that. Though, Izuku, I am pretty interested in this book you got from the Sphinx itself. The one of the gods? Yeah, that is true. I haven't really had a chance to go over it. Granolla's rebuilding efforts have been busy at the moment, and I was worried about them being potentially under attack again. The Demon Lord might try to retaliate, and that was my main concern. Though, Deku looking over at the vampires, as he does get to talk about it. Would they like to explain it, or should he? The information is pretty interesting, and it does lead into an idea he does have. Right now, the male vampire going to stand and express, bowing his head to all of them. Right now, they've got information that they should be expecting an attack. That is what they know. They receive the information from their lord, the one they serve, and he is an underling to one of the commanders. They're expecting more retaliation. And with the fact that one Lord of Hell is dead, they fear more might fall. It is vital that they don't. And why is that? The Lords of Hell keep stability. They've all been appointed to their position by the Demon Lord. And if they are removed, then it is possible that an uprising can occur. Yeah, and that's where I come in. That Hellfire Dragon I killed a while back. It just so happened to like to pose as tieflings, advisors in many positions. If I were to take on its appearance, Deku waving a hand, right on him turning into a smaller form, different clothes on, as he does get to stand and take on the appearance of a red-skinned Oni. Before talking about it, this is one form he likes to use as a bit of a gag, though him going to spin into a strange ball of flames before turning back into a tiefling. This is the true form. It's quite funny. They tend to like to talk about how Onis and tieflings are similar, but that's another issue. He doesn't like saying it out loud, but he's pretty sure this dragon manipulated a war in the past. It might not have been the same one, but it might have been on the material plane. This just adds credence to Volin. These people have been around for a long time, and they've been collecting knowledge for a while. You're saying he manipulated my history? As far as we know, the Demon Lord, he's dipped his hand into everyone's history, if not everything. He has a way of traveling the planes. We know that from Druso and the magic items we've seen them use, along with the portals. The portals are a big one. If we find out how they're opening them, it could be something. It's not magical means, I believe. I don't know of an artifact that can do that, other than planeswalker magic. So you're saying it might have something to do with planeswalkers then? It might. But you're saying that you want to try and use this dragon's position as an advisor? I do. There's a lot of contracts in my inventory. I know how many, and that's good. If I play my cards right, I can start a revolution. Not just that, but if we do plan this correctly and kill one of the Lords of Hell again on one of the layers, that can cause a bit of a stir. Afterwards, we manipulate certain people and put them in different places, and bam, they're doing half the work for us. But that's only part of the plan. What do you mean, part of the plan? It's simple. He's expecting retaliation, so we fall in line with his idea and give him what he expects. We plan around that. I'd like to send you two back in to go undercover. Just pretend to be yourselves. That may be hard to do. We are disgraced. So you're traitors then? Yes. Well, that wasn't accounted for. Fine. If you two are considered to be traitors or disgraced, then we won't do that. I'll simply just have to use polymorph again. But we are going to have to try and plan around the simple fact they're expecting us. Once that's done, it should be easy. We can take out 2 more Lords of Hell and even one on the lower layers. Why? Their reputation is better, and they should be stronger. That one, we want it to be big, loud, public. We want them to know this one was an actual try and an attack. If we try and go for stealthy, they'll try and go stealthy. They'll try and cover it up. They can try to make a cover story all they want. But if we make a public display with the last one, I'd say we get their attention. They know someone else is changing the board. Now, I don't know how comfortable you guys are with that, but I know I'm more than comfortable doing it. Those places down there aren't good. There's nothing good down there. Are you certain of this? I am. But I'd like to go over that book first, just in case I might miss anything. Yes, I've got one of my duplicates currently working on the studies. You do? Yes, I do. Listen, it's a body double, which means I technically don't need to sleep. I can turn off half of myself, but I still do it anyway. It's worth it, especially for some time off. Huh. I do understand that. But that doesn't sound good. How much is that skill? It wasn't that much, but I got it as reward. I think it's about 100 points, but it's a bit stressful in the mind. Okay, but isn't there another skill for that too? Dual minds. I'm not sure of that one. I haven't taken it. It's supposed to create a different consciousness to your own, parallel. Deku going to close his inventory, talking about it. He just read the skill, though apparently he's also getting an option for upgrading his own special Fury skill. It does have requirements he's met. Is that one good? It's decent. Yeah, I've seen it. It's about 100 points. Not sure if I'd be willing to buy it, though. No, it looks better. Though, it's a bit steep on the price. Can you afford it? I haven't spent any of my skill points since I got out of the dungeon. I can. Though, right now, I'd say we just break up. I'm gonna go do my own thing, and I'm gonna go talk to my apprentice. See about turning him there. With the information that they've given us, I think it's fine. It seems fine. It's useful. Yeah. If we give them some pushback, then they won't expect us to attack them directly. If we can make a situation in hell, then the Demon Lord will go back there to try and fix that. Or he'll be forced to. Yeah. If we do need to, then I can be a distraction. What do you mean? I can run around. I can try and hold him off for some time. Give him the, well, chase he kind of wants. He's been leading us on for some time, and I myself am sick of it. So you just leave me and Ochako to try and deal with the dead god? Are you saying you can't handle it? I never said that. Bakugo, to be honest, this task is going to be difficult. And we don't even know what we're getting into yet. Hell, its flesh is on one plane, but we don't know where its skeleton is. Or its brain, if that's on a different plane entirely too. Its muscles, its organs, they should still be there. I don't know. But that's another problem. What about his consciousness? If the god of the ocean is still alive, just dead in a different way than we know, then how do we know this will work? It should. Deku going to comb his hair back and talk about it. Right now, they're putting a lot of ideas into this plan. It's not bad. It just needs more work. And they both do get a nod. Right now, Ochako turning to Deku as Bakugo does stand up and vanish. Her asking him if she can go over that book herself. There might be something he's missing that she can see. And he does tell her. He's going to go over it himself tonight. And whenever that does happen, he'll give her the book. He's far too interested in it right now to let it go. He's just been busy. He's got some time. I see. Take on the skill dual minds if you do need. It might be easier on you. And remember, her going to stand, walking over and bringing up her arm, her clasping Deku's by the wrist. And then she does give him a bit of a small smile. Be careful. If he dies, then she's not going to have anyone to make fun of. And he does roll his eyes with a small smile, telling her, well, that's not true. She does still have herself. And Bakugo. Yeah, but he's not as fun. Besides, he's not an asshole. Well, not anymore. Though I think you are an asshole. I dare say you'd hold your tongue in front of a lady. Please. You're no maiden. Her going to nod her head, letting go of Deku and vanishing from his grip. And he does let out a small sigh. Before he does get to stand and go to walk over, bring his hands up and going to create a ball of blood. Right now him going to fill it up and hand it off to the vampire. Before he does begin to tell her about what they can do. Right now, he's got a lot to handle. And he wants them to try and find any more information. Something that might happen within the next couple weeks. If they can get their plan set off, then it will work. If they can't, that will be more problems do go to arise. Does she understand? And she does nod her head, right now sinking her teeth into the ball of blood as it does a small crisp-like sound of her chewing into it. And Deku, he does a turn telling the man. He'll be back with some more blood in a bit. Right now he has to go have a bit of a talk with his father. And the man does nod his head. Right on him turning to his beloved and making sure that she is alright. Now, Deku, he does go to find Adrig. Right now the man standing outside and looking out into the sky, trying to meditate himself and think about the events that have led him to his current position. He's still got a lot in his head that doesn't make sense. Impossible things he's seen. And Renner Deku, he does go to bring up this topic to Adrig. About him making a place for Volin to sleep in the lair. And he does get a turn, informing Izuku that he is uncertain of this. His lair is his home, and he rather likes it to be the way it is. I get it. But right now, what else would you have me do? Sleep in a humanoid form. She is meant to be a servant. She will follow your whim. I got that. But I'm not going to treat her like a slave. Right now, her information is useful. And then what will you do? Kill her? If I have to, I will. But I would rather not, Adrig. From what I understand, she's not. Well, she seems to be willing to comply. Yes, I see. If that's the case, then go right ahead. Go ahead and just tear apart my lair. Adrig, I understand this is your lair, your land, but this can be helpful. Besides, there's much you can learn from her. Yes, attaining my own form of divinity, not on my list of things to learn. I rather like the way I am. My lair is my space. This right here was for people. It is for Indra. You are dear to her and it is for you. I will tolerate people in this space, but I will not tolerate another dragon trying to take my lair. Fine. I'll build a room for her. But she'll stay in human form. She can only take on her dragon form whenever she leaves to hunt. Though, I thought you would have liked this. Someone to order around that isn't you. It is quite nice. But I do still miss whenever I could just tell you something and you would listen. Though, that time does seem to be long past. I do feel my age. A little bit. 500 years young? Perhaps not. Rather than hearing a roar emit from the cave, and the two, they immediately return, bolting back into the place inside. Now, Deku and Adrig do to run towards the stairs and make their way down into the cave. As Deku, he does go to see Indra crouching down in front of her clutch of eggs. Right now, them larger than her entire torso. And Deku, he does gonna make his way completely down the stairs with a leap. Him crashing to the bottom and rolling, getting to his feet as Indra, she does go to turn her attention to Deku, looking back down at the eggs that have cracked open. And Izuku, he does a stare at that. Before the other eggs do go to hatch as well. Right now, them going to allow a small crack as Deku does get to sense life. In this, it does make a small tear go to roll from his face, as he does make his way over and bend down. As the eggs, they've hatched. And he does get to stare at a dark-haired, red-scaled dragon kid. One that does have white hair, and one that even does have red hair. And this, it does seem highly intriguing. Right now, them going to look around surprised, intrigued, and one does even go to try to let out a small puff of fire from their mouth, looking more confused when that does gonna happen. And Deku, he does gonna laugh out a bit, staring at that. In intrigue, he does want to sit down on the stairs, watching this interaction. Right now, him quite proud of this moment. Now, we do cut over to Bakugo. Bakugo does find himself standing on top of a mountain, looking out and seeing Granola in the distance. Still thinking about what happened there a while back. Deku murdered the tyrant, and that was good. Though, he's not sure if they can win. Deku's gotten information on more of those creatures. Possibly more titans, and he might have information about a dark god. And that's good. But right now, he feels like he can benefit. He feels like he can help. And he does it a turn, staring directly at Druso, who does go to walk over the twig he just snapped, asking him if he came alone. Well, I did. Holding up his left hand that is wrapped. And he does wear a strange golden device on it. It's glowing with rubies that do emanate a deep shade of red. Talking about it. This device conceals his magical power, absorbing it. You cannot sense me. I know. Listen, you mentioned before that we can work together. Is that still true? Yes. When all this is said and done, I wish for peace to return. It has been a rough 2 decades, a harsh-lived time. What of Nero? We don't know. I was going to ask about it, but that might be where I investigate next. You mentioned something about a place called Emsera. Yes. An elven city. Quite beautiful. Quite something. Him looking out at the city, talking about it. He did not expect them to attack. He tried to convince them otherwise. So you say. What is wrong? I don't trust you. Why should you? I'm a man who's lived a harsh life, all in the name of peace. I've killed many of my own friends, of my own kinsmen and kin. But right now, all I have to offer you is help. I will inform you when your plan can take place. Until then, be advised. The armies are on standby. I've heard about that. We're expecting an attack, but it seems like you already do know about that. We do. And accordingly, young hero. The Demon Lord, did he possess Kirishima? Yes. And the curse? The one he gave to Izuku? What of it? How did he get it? How did he get his hands on a curse? The Demon Lord. Yes, the Demon Lord. You placed a curse on Izuku. I don't know much about curses, but I don't think you have that type of power. I do not. I have an eye that can see many things, many futures. Your friend is full of fury. He is full of anger. He would charge with no restraint, with no mercy, and many paths lead to victory, though they are few. The paths to failures, they are many. And what? How will the future go? The future has changed once already. What I thought to be a certainty has become uncertain. We have angered the only being who would have given us mercy. The only one of us who would have. Yes. That is the problem. What is his name? Is it Badana? Bodano. Yes. You've heard of the story. But how? That's none of your concern. Is he Bordano? No, I do not believe so. But you are not entirely incorrect. What? Him turning his head. Druso does get a vanish in Bakio. He does feel annoyed. Right now, him going to roar out in anger, pissed. Since that, it confused him more. What does he mean by that? Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.